Is there such thing as having too much food, specifically having too much food served to you at a restaurant? I did not know the answer to that question fully until a couple of days ago. I went out for a lunch the other day and I got to this spot and I didn't really know. I don't like going to restaurants because sometimes the menus, like, I'm not trying to read all that. I just want something simple. I saw a grilled, or what was it? It was like a, what did they call it? It was chicken. I saw this chicken. I was like, this sounds simple. It comes with fries, beans, rice. I told the lady, can I just get the chicken? She goes, do you want half or full portion? I said, I'm not that hungry. I'll go half. Full portion, I'm assuming it's going to be like, a big couple pieces of chicken. The half portion that got brought to my table was just half of a chicken. Like the entire half of an entire chicken. And the first thing I thought to myself, who is getting a full serving of this? Who is going out for lunch and saying, let me just completely demolish an entire chicken for lunch? Who's doing that? The worst part about it is I was at lunch with a lot of people, and everybody, when my plate got dropped on my spot, everybody immediately, and I mean immediately, turned to my spot and just laughed. And now I'm like, damn, I'm the fat ass now because hey, I ordered half a whole chicken, which a whole chicken is huge. Half a chicken is still huge. And I got half of a chicken with a big portion of fries, a big cup of beans, and an entire serving of rice under the half chicken. So everybody is just turning at me and like, you really ordered? No, I didn't really order this. I didn't know what I was ordering, man. I thought I was going to get a couple pieces of chicken. Maybe like one or two breasts. And I got half of a chicken. And I did my best to finish it because I don't waste food. And I didn't feel good after. In fact, I felt awful. Imagine you're going to lunch, not expecting to eat that much because you're not that hungry. And then you have to end up downing an entire half of a chicken. It's not a fun experience. Especially because I wasn't trying to be the last one to finish, because then everybody's going to look at me to make sure I'm finishing half of that whole chicken. So I'm like, I got to be like second to last, maybe third to last, because I can't have everybody finish and then I'm the only one. Duh, you're the one with the half chicken. You're going to be the last one to finish, and then we're all going to stare at you and make sure you finish it. Nah, that wasn't going to be me. That wasn't going to be me. So I had to eat it a little fast and it wasn't enjoyable and I felt like shit after. So I just thought, why is this amount of food ever necessary for one meal? Because your rebuttal might be, take it home with you. Now you have another meal. But I don't go to restaurants for that. I don't go to restaurants with the intention that I'm not going to finish my meal and I'm going to box it up and take it home. When I go to a restaurant, when I go to a restaurant, fast food, any place that I go out to eat, I don't want to worry about taking home leftovers. I want to be able to finish whatever it is I got and still feel good full. Because you can feel good full, and that's an amazing feeling. When you get full, it's not good because you're just like on the brink of throwing up. You're not gonna, but it doesn't feel good. I try not to get there. The only time I get there is instances like this when I'm not trying to waste food. And I got there. But it's never necessary for anybody to eat that much food during one meal. Even if it was half the chicken by itself, I did not need that. Now you talk about half the chicken with all those sides, I definitely don't need that shit. This is coming from somebody that loves to eat. I used to call it a superpower. I used to be able to down food. I remember one time I went out with my girlfriend's family and I got like a burrito. It must have been this big. I'm not even lying. It must have been this big, and I downed it. That was another time I wasn't expecting something that big, but I'm like, everybody's laughing at me and watching me now, and I'm like the idiot that got the big ass portion of food. I have to finish it, and I finished it. But no problem. I can't do that anymore. So it was a problem this time, and it wasn't something I ever want to go through again. I never want to have to worry about force feeding myself half of a chicken. Never, 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 never. It can also come down to a pricing thing. People might be like, maybe if you get a bigger portion, you're not paying as much, bigger bang for your buck. I would honestly honestly rather just pay what a regular portion is and just be through with that. Because if it's something so expensive that I'm worried about paying for the full portion, I'm not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there. So you're going to charge me more because it's a bigger portion that I don't want to eat anyway. It doesn't make sense for me. There is such thing as too much food. If you're going into a meal feeling okay, most people don't go into meals starving, right? Most people don't like wait all day to eat one meal. It happens, but most people don't do that. Most people that go to dinner or lunch, they've had previous meals in the day, so they're not starving. They don't need half of a chicken. I don't need leftovers. I don't need any of that. I just want a regular size meal at whatever regular price you charge, and I want to be able to finish it and feel good full. Not bad full, good full. There's restaurants that are stingy and give you booty pebbles of portions, and it's not good, and like, step your game up, give me some bigger portions. There's some restaurants like the one I've been mentioning this whole time that just gives you entire animals for lunch. And then there's that healthy medium where you get a portion, you get one entree, you get two sides, maybe you get a drink. I'm typically a water or a Diet Coke guy, and you eat that food. Maybe it's a steak with some mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. That's what I typically go for. Maybe some broccoli or a burger with some fries and a milkshake, whatever it may be. That's a healthy medium. There's not a single time I can think of that I will encounter in my life where I will need to eat an entire or half. Same shit to me. It makes no difference. I may as well just say entire, because that's what it felt like. And that's what it looked like. There's never going to be a time where I need to eat a full chicken. Unless I haven't ate in days, I'd have to be stranded for days, get found on an island, flown in by helicopter, and the first thing I say, where is there a chicken that I can eat real quick? That would be the only instance in which I can imagine myself eating something that damn big. Otherwise, it's not necessary. Nobody needs to be eating portions that big. I just had to say this because typically I would have been like more towards the big portion side. But after this, I'm like, this is completely irrational and unnecessary and unneeded and undesired. No, I had no desire to get that much food. Not a single bit. It gives me more appreciation for those places that have a healthy medium where they're not robbing you with portions, but they're also not making you feel like you're 100 pounds heavier after the meal. I feel like that's a very important thing that gets overlooked. And for the restaurants and fast food places or whatever food places that get it right, congratulations. You're doing a great job. Keep that shit up, because there's places that surprisingly get it wrong, and it doesn't go unnoticed.